Sega. свершится воля Божья. Мне надо отдохнуть, подождите, я отдыхаю. Да, Ваше Величество, сию минуту примите мое благословение. Ни минуты промедления. Да свершится
Ваше Величество.
воля Божья.
Никто не заподозрит.
Что от меня требуется? Да свершится воля Божья.
Что приказа? Мы осадили их. Вашим услугам, Ваше Величество. Час расплаты настал. Сила и честь. осадили их! Теперь они сгниют заживо в своем свинарнике! еще? Ожидаю указаний. Марш! Что-нибудь еще? Ожидаю указаний. Ожидаю дальнейших указаний. Будут еще указания. Корону и Отечество. Ожидаю дальнейших указаний.
It is interesting that Sweden is not being more aggressive, because they could theoretically win in a battle with those two armies against this.
Что-нибудь еще? Марш! Ваш покорный слуга. Поднять паруса! Поживее, лентяй! Ждем указаний, капитан!
I'm trying to think. If I now kill the rebellion and they don't move any army closer to this, then I could move this army over here. It has to wait one turn. Maybe this army will try to intercept them, but I could still win against them. And then take Norway, and then Sweden will be gone from the map. However, they cannot be allowed to take back Denmark while I'm gone. Who this?
A figment of your imagination.
Dragon Hawaii.
I'm wearing a pineapple. I was about to say watermelon for some reason.
I was about to say ananas.
Ananas on the ass. Ananas.
I could maybe leave 2 units in this city just in case. And so long as these armies cannot reach Denmark within 1 turn, I might be able to disappear Sweden.
Yeah. Then what will you visit later?
I just made an alliance with Prussia, so I don't know.
Приготовиться! Да, Ваше Величество. Есть! Марш! Приготовиться!
Ждем указаний. К вашим услугам, сэр. Поднять паруса.
Да, милорд. Жду ваших приказов. Жду приказа.
He can only either attempt to intercept me or attempt to get a province to save him. I could actually just betray Prussia and expand in their direction. Also, something which makes this game super easy is that you can occupy all of a European faction's provinces within Europe, and all of their holdings on other continents will sort of either become rebels or independent factions. Which is actually a little bit ahistorical, because what happened, for example, when for example during Napoleon's Iberia campaign, the thing that happened, rather than, for example, Brazil declaring independence, was that the Portuguese royal house fled to Brazil, and so basically in the period after the Iberian campaign, Portugal actually used to be for a while in a personal union under Brazil. Like the the concept of a government just moving somewhere else is not really a thing in this game, as long as we're talking about like fleeing to another continent.
I mean, hasn't that actually happened many times? Technically, at this point, there are many governments that fled to another just even if it's just to another country, they still went outside of their country. Like the what was it? The Tibetan government in exile exists in India, for example,
Yeah,
and the
but
Belarus
the
and the Belarus the what was it? The mid 90s Belarusian government also exists in exile in Poland.
you can do that in this game, but you cannot, for instance, go in exile in the US or whatever.
I think what was it after several Belarusian elections, essentially every party that I think would have won the election if the election wasn't cut off all the time. Essentially all of them had to flee to Poland, and then that was the Belarusian government in exile. So technically there's two Belarusian governments. That actually makes me wonder, what does what does a government in exile actually do?
I mean, strictly speaking, it's no different than any domestic separatist movement, really. At that point, it's just like dissidents. They coordinate what would in other contexts be called terrorism. And in other contexts, again, it would be called an independence movement.
Oh geez, I just looked up. I just looked up the Rada, which is the Belarusian Democratic Republic, which was in exile since 1919. Since 1919, but is still in exile. The government of the Belarusian Democratic Republic never had power over the whole territory of Belarus. In 1919, it coexisted with an alternative communist government of Belarus, forming an almost east-west divide of Belarus. I was already in the early 20s, wow. Currently its government in exile, which is the Rada Council of the Belarusian Democratic Republic, is the oldest still functioning government in exile. It was partially recognized.
What the fuck just happened?
It was partially recognized as a state under German occupation in 1918, but ever since then has been in exile. Its capital was Grodno instead of Minsk. Otherwise, its capital in exile used to be Kaunas until the 20s, Prague until the 40s, Paris until the 70s, Toronto until the 80s, and at the moment it's in Ottawa.
Did you even notice what happened?
I was reading the Wikipedia article, what happened?
Like, for a moment my PC just froze and then it like, trayed the game while it was still running for some reason.
Tray?
Yeah, minimize it.
Oh.
I mean, it won't cost me the battle probably, but it was still annoying. Okay, that's super desperate.
По воле Божьей.
Да, милорд.
That actually worked.
Вперед! Марш! Вашим услугам! Солдаты! Стой!
Let's see. They have one madras and one pleasure house or pleasure garden. So money, money, money. The Mughals bought Naples.
Mongolian Naples.
Not Mongol, but Mughal.
Mughal. Mughal.
The Ottomans are just allying everybody.
Так.
Вашим услугам, Ваше Величество.
I need to BRB.
Okay.
Bach.
Oh,
Elwe. I think the Ottomans might be trying to steal my technology and they're noticing that I'm far behind them in tech. I think I'll make a mosque in Trondheim.
what?
A mosque.
Musk.
I could send over a fleet just to get those pirate provinces.
Слился с тенью под прикрытием.
Потороплюсь.
Будут еще указания? Лорд? Вперед! За корону и отечество! А? Что приказа?
I think if possible I do want howitzers. The Estonia and Livonia province has a weird mixture of place names. Vitseme, for example. But then you also still have Reval as a place name. Also, this is a little bit a whack. The fact that Ösel and Wieck are... I don't know, it just looks like a peninsula in this, even though it's like 2 islands.
Ожидаю приказа. Под прикрытием чем могу помочь? Я ваши глаза и уши. Всегда начеку. Я ваш покорный слуга.
Да. По воле Божьей.
Сэр! Вперед! Вперед! Марш!
Выполнять указания. Что дальше, капитан? Отходим, капитан. Бою готов. Ожидаем дальнейших указаний.
Hello, Vestex. How are you bleating this fair Sunday evening?
Meep.
Что пожелаете? Незаметный, как тень.
Your phone is breaking apart. I guess a rip, as it were.
Ожидаю приказа.
Wow, I did not type that correctly. Do you have a search for PSX boutique near you if you still live in Sweden?
This stream is not sponsored by whatever that was.
I don't think they sponsor anything anyway. Vad var det i Göteborg eller?
This province is just going to get a new town called Ogre.
Vänersborg. Who wants to live? Sorry. Who wants to live there? Sorry. Oh, okay. It's actually really close to those big runestone fields. Arga was pointing at it a couple of seconds ago. Arga. That little thing beside the bigger lake. Or the wider lake.
So, this one?
Yeah, the small thing beside it. Yeah, that's around about where Vänersborg is. Ja, men om jag kollar på kartan så är den där. Jag ser i alla fall Vänersborg kommun där. Norr om Trollhättan.
Что дальше, капитан?
Jo, vad menar du?
By the way, if you two want to talk like via voice chat, it's open for you too, Vostex.
Dalsland.
I actually wonder if I declare on Denmark if any of these will actually join them or not.
The Vostex.
Yes.
But
Are you saying something? Oh, there, I heard you now.
testing.
Yeah, I hear you.
I have to put you at 69% volume, otherwise you're too loud.
Nice.
Nice.
What do you mean? This, like, compared to what was in game, this is actually what Arga was looking at. Vänern looks a lot smaller in the game than it does on the map.
I can't view the game and talk to you at the same time, just so you know.
What do you mean?
I see where you posted it now. But yeah, that's where Vänersborg is.
It's literally minutes away from Trollhättan. Who builds a city like that? I say as I live in Husqvarna. I don't. Sweden seems to be ripe with this, where towns just builds themselves together to become a city. Like two different towns build like expands and then becomes one thing instead.
Merging.
Yokohama.
Jönköping, Husqvarna, Trollhättan, Vänersborg. Is there other? Would Uppsala Storvreta count?
Gonna see something. Oh yeah. Neither of you are going to NFC, are you?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, it's a Swedish furry convention in Malmö.
Yeah,
Nah,
I never
Nah.
really go to these things.
I search it on Swedish Google and I get Närfält Comic Con. Hur funkar det, säger Kjell.com.
I mean, search Nordic Fuzcon.
ZZ. FUZZ. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. ZZ.
Theta Delta.
22 to 22nd.
Yes.
For everybody who is either watching right now the stream or will later watch the recording, Theta Delta is a meme, a nice meme.
Yeah.
Meme. Doesn't it... Am I missing something?
Should we tell him?
I know it means Therians,
Ah, yeah, then you got it.
but I didn't know it was a meme specifically.
I was making a joke.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I think it was Arga being funny.
Why shorten it to NFC? If you try to search anything NFC, you won't get this.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Because you know, NFC chips is what a lot of contactless technologies works today. So
Yeah, it works thanks to this con.
I would.
Yeah.
Attendee, being an attendee costs 1,300.
Wait, what? It can't cost 1,300.
Convention ticket required attendee price 1,300 kronor.
Oh, yeah, that's different from 1,300.
1,300 is 1,300.
No, 1,300, that's 1 3 and 3 zeros.
No.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I thought of 30,000.
Chromers.
But yeah, that's a bit unconventional, because I would say 1,300.
That's like I don't know why I've gotten into the habit of saying 4-digit numbers like this, but it's like, 1,300.
Let's agree that we're both wrong.
1,300, would that be accepted in German, Arga?
Yeah, 1300 or 1300. Like 1300 is basically just 1000, 1300, and 1300 is 1300, yeah. You can basically do it the same way.
So did you know that Nena predicted the future in 990 Luftballons? I mean, it sounds like she predicted a Chinese balloon flying over the United States.
Wait, it's from the 26th. Wait.
Hmm?
The con is from the 22nd of February to the 26th of February.
Yeah, but I have early arrival, so I'm going on the 21st.
Early goat.
Yeah.
Tuesday. Har du sportlov eller?
No, I'm unemployed.
Oh.
Yeah, I really am looking for a job. But I would
I
prefer-
lost my job.
But yeah, I don't want to live and work in Vänersborg, not under any circumstances.
Was the meme of who wants to live there true for or something?
It's not that it's a bad place per se, it's that I share it with some extremely shitty people.
Is Vänersborg really that? Or is it just who you live with?
No, I mean it's green and it's got all the things you could ask for, and it's easy to reach. Still, I don't want to work here or live here because some shitty people do so as well.
Yeah, that can always be a nuisance.
Yeah.
I tend to not keep up with extremely local things where I live, so I don't know what's happening here, so...
I mean, that's fair. I don't know everything either.
Ugh. I mean, Vänersborg isn't that big, is it? Hold on.
No, it's not big at all. I mean, it's in Trollhättan's shadow.
24,000 people. There's
Is-
more people in Vänersborg than there's in Huskvarna.
Okay. Yeah.
Barely. It's 20. Okay, so it's 23,978 as of 2017 in Huskvarna, and it's 23,882 since 2018 in Vänersborg. Okay, okay. No, there's more. I don't know. The same.
So yeah, as for where I would like to live, anywhere to the north of Vänersborg, honestly.
Watch you end up in Pajala.
Yeah, why not?
I had a classmate who said he came from Jokkmokk every time someone asked him where he came from, even though he lived, I think, like in Rosenlund or something in Jönköping. So
Rosenlund.
Jokkmokk is so far away from anything. It's like I'm looking at Jokkmokk at the map here, and they have a total of like they have one or in the entire town they have 3 roundabouts.
I mean, it's basically Swedish for butt fuck nowhere. Also, yeah, a family member has a farm in Jämtland, and we're hoping to get ownership of that farm, and maybe I can live and work there.
Östersund? Östersund Krokom.
Well, not really Östersund. It's in a rural area.
Is it? Would I be warm if it's close to Storsjön?
You would not. It's
Hey.
it's in eastern Jämtland.
And not right up against the Norwegian border, if I would guess.
Yeah, it's not against the Norwegian border.
Ljungdalen.
Not sure if I wanna get too specific though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
probably should keep minimal privacy concerns because this is getting transmitted to Twitch.
Yeah,
What is it called? If you ever get ownership of that farm, you should let me ride a dirt bike on it, because I've seen so many people do that, and for some reason, because I live in a city, there's nothing for me to ride it on.
yeah, you are invited. I'm just gonna. There's a lot of things we need to do to that farm.
What is it like? Run down?
Yeah, it's very rundown.
Да, милорд.
Estocolmo.
Fucking Stockholm with its 0 trees.
There's at least one tree on Lidingö.
Oh. At least one tree.
And I think Värmdö is mostly forest for some reason. So Like there's an island that is part of Stockholm that is just forest, and I don't know why it exists.
Coconut Island.
Maybe so.
Where's Värmdö? Where's Värmdö? Can't even fucking see it. Wait, Värmdö is all of the. Okay, now I understand. Värmdö isn't one island.
Ah,
One,
I did not.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's the easternmost part of Stockholm, but it's like over 20 islands for some reason.
Oh wow. Oh yeah. A shit post I made on Twitter of a few days ago. The existence of Skateholm implies the existence of Daiholm.
Skate.
Yeah, because
I-
if you read it as Skateholm, skate or die.
Ja men fan heller.
To be fair, it went above my head as well, but mostly because I cannot speak Swedish.
Yeah,
Skate or die isn't really a Swedish thing either, and I haven't seen that as much of a thing in Sweden, to be honest. Anyway, so I know that there used to be this guy living further into town that had a van, an old Volkswagen van, that said, "Skating isn't a crime. Join the skaters union." And he had a roof box on the van that looked like a skateboard. That thing was rad.
dab on the skaters.
Best van.
But yeah, I totally think it should be pronounced Skateholm.
Men heter inte Skatholmen för att det är skator?
I guess it does. But I think Skateholm is funnier.
I mean, it skates, there is no E in it, it's Skatholm.
Really, I've always thought it was called Skateholm.
Okay, no, two different places. Ah,
Yeah,
Skatholmen is an island in Stockholm. Skateholm is a town in the absolute south of Sweden.
yeah,
Jeez.
it's Skateholm, not Skatholm. Skibidi-bidoo-dap-dibidi-doo.
Scatholm.
It's only a couple of minutes away from Smygehuk. When I say it like that, it sounds like you're creepily sick or slow. I don't know. Smygehuk. Smygehuk. How does one speak Skånska?
I don't know.
I probably have to get very drunk.
Yeah, probably.
Have you eaten skånsk spettekaka?
No.
It is number 33rd in the world of apparently disgusting food.
Like,
Specifically skånsk spettekaka, and I don't understand how it actually got there, to be honest.
yeah, I've only been in Skåne for a con.
I think I only drove through it once.
Rupa? Oh, true. Sorry,
I've-
I'm dumb.
Yeah, through.
Yeah.
This.
Um, let's,
It's almost like 90% sugar, I think.
let's see. Sorry, kinda tapped out. Here we go. Yeah. That does not look good at all.
It tastes like sugar. No. It tastes like...
Shit.
No, what is that, like, kind of airy white thing you would put on ice cream?
Oh,
Whipped cream.
No, the one that you could buy in bags.
Marraine?
Meringue, yeah. It tastes like meringue,
Really? Huh.
but it's an entire, like, tower of this. So it very, very early becomes too much, sort of.
Kind of feels like a diabetes trap.
It's the tower of diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes. If you're a beta dire wolf, does that make you a dire beta? And I know that's not real wolf psychology.
Будут еще указания?
Wolves. No, no, diabito. Roll back to kitchen.
Oh,
We have eaten skånsk spettkaka and while it's disgusting amount of sugar, I don't understand how it actually made it up so far into the list of most disgusting food in the world.
Are you referencing that thing that went around Twitter for a while, or?
No, no, it was on the Swedish forum. Someone shared that shared the Swedish listings on that list. Of course, what was it? It was lutfisk and surströmming are on that list, but skånsk spettkaka for some reason is on it.
I should try surströmming.
you should not.
I've never eaten it, and I am scared.
Yeah, but you are also a sub. You're easily frightened.
By the way, according to the German article for spettekaka, it says that the approximation in German, what it would be called, is Spießkuchen.
Spießkuchen.
Yeah. And if you search for that, you get something very similar, actually.
I think I never had that.
Spießkuchen ist eine schwedische Gebäckspezialität, die besonders im südschwedischen Schonen hergestellt und genossen wird. Skånsk spettekaka ist eine in der Europäischen Union geschützte Herkunftsbezeichnung. It's protected.
Yeah, probably like cultural heritage stuff.
Kartoffelstärke. The two main ingredients, Kartoffelstärke und Zucker, are the two ingredients. It's sugar and potato
And
starch. No wonder it tastes like meringue, because meringue is, I think, egg. What was it? Egg white and sugar.
something like that, yeah.
How something like this becomes a cultural heritage, I don't know. It's just 2 ingredients.
Honestly, I hate sandwich cake. I don't know how anyone can like it.
I don't feel good after eating it. I like the taste, kind of. My grandmother really liked it. It's one of her favorites. But yeah, it feels like a sack of rocks in your stomach afterwards.
You know what? I'm racist towards Swedes because they like sandwich cake.
I mean, it's not a uniquely Swedish thing. The more I researched it, to be honest, it's just an easier way to make a cake without going through a baking process.
Hmm.
There are other
Alright.
cakes that uses bread, like layers of bread, as kind of the subs or the structure. I think there's a Filipino like icebox cake that is made in a similar way.
Really?
Yeah, but it's more like you have a layer of bread, and then you put a lot of. I think you put mango and like cream cheese. I think together. Then another layer of bread, and then continue like that. But for in Sweden, it's mayonnaise and shrimp and lemon and caviar.
You kind of forgot the M in shrimp.
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 Okay then.
Shrimp. Yeah, I don't know why it came out like that, but then it is. Screech.
I mean, I kind of heard you say shrimp at last there.
Yes, shrimp.
Sim.
Simp.
Simp.
That's right, I'm a simp. Speaking of which, I plan to go to Washington in April, and me and my date we're going to try to figure out what we want to do.
Washington State, Washington DC, what?
The state.
Oh, the state, so Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
Washington State, I believe, does have vast forests and stuff. So you could maybe hike a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
I've never been there, by the way. When I was in the US, which was like a decade ago or more at this point,
Mm.
and we visited relatives. We mostly saw stuff like Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada.
Oh, okay.
There's Mount Rainier.
Um,
Mount
I
Rainier
think.
is in Washington.
Ah, yeah. I wasn't sure where Mount Rainier is, to be honest.
It's like in the middle of the state, and there's just one giant ass mountain there for some reason.
Yeah, you're going to have volcanoes there. Uh, if you look
Oh,
at like
nice.
the US coast, it's like you have like a coastal area, and then it's like a big elevation difference with like mountains and volcanoes and stuff, with the hinterland further to the east from that.
By the way, there's also a lot of national parks it looks like in Washington State, but I like the name of this one, Mount Baker Snoqualmie National Forest.
Uh, what what kind of syllables is that?
Mountain goat.
Mount
Yes, I
Mount
like Mount.
Mount Baker Snoqualmie.
Let's see. Baker Snoqualmie. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's pronounced.
Me thinks that it's probably indigenous actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I do know how to pronounce Spokane though.
Spokane.
No, it's not Spokane.
Spokane.
Yeah,
Why not go to the alien in the state?
Korealo.
The alien in
Yeah, something like that.
Idaho, whatever. Electric City. What are these names?
Cities
Medical,
like
medical. There's Odessa.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff in the US.
Odessa, isn't that in Ukraine?
Yeah, but there's an Odessa in Washington State.
There's actually also an Odessa in like Texas or whatever, and there's an Odessa in Oklahoma or whatever. You can find many things. There's also like at
wonder-
least one German or even like one Swiss colony in like any of the states.
Did you know that Bronx, New York was a Swedish colony? It was named after Bronken I think it was Bronken Johansson.
I don't believe that.
One thing I do know is that New Sweden used to cover somewhere around the area over here with like Philadelphia or whatever.
I found an article in Aftonbladet. Schibsted, come on. Why is Schibsted like this? Every time it senses that I'm logged in on Schibsted on one thing, wants me to log in everything else. Jonas Bronk från Sävsjö är svensken som gett namn åt stadsdelen Bronx i New York. Nu firar hans hembygd att det är 375 år sedan han steg i land i Amerika. Jonas Bronk.
Bronchitis.
Yeah, okay.
Det var 1639.
Yeah, since you were able to source it. Oh, yes, I heard you. But
No, you
sure, I
didn't.
can.
There is Kashmir in Washington.
So Pakistan is in Washington.
I mean, I think there is
You know, there's an old American saying, never stand behind a Pakistani.
Huh?
In like airport security.
There is LA Center in Washington.
La Center.
No, LA Center.
Yeah, you know the video game title LA Noir. That's kind of a wordplay.
La Noire.
Yeah, it's supposed to evoke French.
Le français c'est une langue morte.
The what now? Oh,
Oh, there's Centralia. Did you know that there's a Centralia independence movement?
Yeah. There is actually also, I think, a Centralia in Australia.
Yeah, but the Centralia independence movement, I guess, I looked at the map where what it would claim. It would claim almost the entirety of the National Forest Olympic parks in Washington for some reason.
Centralia sounds like a fictional anime country that the villain lives in.
Yeah. Guys, I finally made it. I have created Muslim Lithuania, Muslim Belarus, and Muslim Russia.
Elma. There's Central Park.
Why not conquer the world for Hinduism?
I've done that before. I actually could that. I could do that again, but right
Oh.
now I'm playing the Crimea Khanate.
Oh my god, I just... There's a highway in Washington that has a 90-degree turn. How is that a highway?
Interesting.
This is a street. Okay, so St. Alder Street is a highway according to this map, but it makes a 90-degree turn in Aberdeen and Kurt Cobain under the Bridge Memorial. What? There's a Kurt Cobain Memorial in Aberdeen. But yeah, 90-degree turn at what? 100 kilometers an hour? Yeah, that will work.
Hmm.
Hump,
What?
hump tulips.
Oh yeah. I wanted to ask, have you heard of a webcomic called The Long Hike?
No. The name
Well,
the name reminds me of The Long Dark right now.
yeah, well, kinda. It's post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, so it's basically The Long Dark.
Yeah, more or less. But yeah, the premise is that a veil to another reality was pierced, and it started leaking into the Americas and transforming it into a mirror of itself. And all the humans in the Americas, they got turned into these little kobold things called Drekir.
What was it called?
The Long
The
Hike.
Long Hike. The wider setting is called Dragonscape.
The Long Hike is a trail in Vermont.
It's not what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I tried to search that, it doesn't work. The Long Hike webcomic?
Yeah. You probably find a fur affinity called the Pashed Hobo.
Long Hike. Why is the immediate thing that I find is Long Hike R34?
Let's see if I um,
Whoa. I found it though, and I accidentally pressed like 5,000 keys on my keyboard. The Patched Hobo. I recognize that username though.
interesting. But in any case, I mean, I'm gonna link.
Venicelari. Yeah, also their all original older account also I think has a profile picture made by someone on another server I'm in. I forgot the species name of that thing. Grimblow.
There we go.
Holy bingle.
Holy fucking bingo.
Be. Ow. You gotta get your protein in ya before you have another existential meltdown, Yoli. That is the description of page 34.
Yeah, something like that. People realizing they've been turned into kobolds and they start freaking out.
The kobolds are cool, they yip.
Are we talking
Yeah,
furry?
I agree.
Are we talking furry kobolds or like folklore kobolds?
I mean, anything as long as it's not a goddamn gnome.
I don't understand where people got the idea of kobold equals gnome.
Yeah. But yeah, I've seen some video games define kobolds as rat dog things.
Rat dog.
Yeah.
But okay, so Arga, if it's any like idea of what it would be, it's actually hosted on Fur Affinity. So
Um.
I've seen stuff on
Sorry.
Fur
What?
Affinity before.
it's a
Sorry.
I did not.
Okay.
I don't know what I tried to say.
I mean something about kobolds and fur affinity.
Oh,
Greybolt.
Goats are a kind of kobold.
but if you what? By the way, with the
Hmm?
I'm looking at the Nordic Fuscon thing again.
I mean, sure.
If you're going to be an early arrival, did you do the gold tier?
I don't think I did.
'Cause doesn't it say that in order to actually partake in early, you have to be gold?
Okay, maybe I did. I don't know honestly.
And you get
Because
3 tickets automatically.
to tell you the truth, it was I registered a whole year ago, and because of COVID, they decided to postpone the con for next year.
If you have gold, you have a ticket to the Furry Maid Cafe. You
That's
get
something.
early access to the dealer stand, early access to the art show. You get goodies within quotation marks.
Yeah.
That can mean many things.
You get your name posted in the rolling credits at the closing ceremony. Wait.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you deserve to because you've been sponsoring it.
Yeah.
Новое задание.
But yes, sadly, I can't do much in the way of sponsoring because I don't have an actual job. So I'm nowhere near made of money.
Hmm. Furry Maid Cafe. What?
Полной готовности.
How many cons is that a thing?
Sorry?
The Furry Maid Cafe.
Yeah, I mean,
Да, сэр.
it is a thing here, and it's not bad at all. Sorry, I'm just typing something on another Discord server.
I think this Tsaritsin is also slightly misplaced. There's a lot of stuff in this game that is just slightly misshaped or slightly misplaced.
Yeah, Total War has been jarring with that.
um.
Dead.
The only thing I'm worried about is because it's in Sweden, of course, and no one will wear any. Like, Sweden has been totally bogus when it comes to cons and
Yeah,
following any sort of COVID protocol because Sweden never fucking had any. Or we had them for like a few months.
yeah, it was completely fucking reckless.
And there is the new wave is starting roundabout now, so
Uh, well, I hope it doesn't make shit difficult when I go to Washington.
It probably it can.
Mm.
depends on the individual state because each state in the United States have yeah.
Also, I mean, it's going to have consequences either way because either you will have some form of restriction, or the alternative is that you'll just end up in some state where it will spread and you can yourself probably catch it.
Yeah, the main problem at the moment seems that the new variants are spreading faster in the United States than the entirety of the rest of the world. But because it
I,
seems like everyone in while here in Sweden we barely had any restrictions and that's a bad thing. In the United States, while they did have restrictions, it seems like every a huge amount of people just want to own the libs or whatever and then make a con that's inside a broom closet with over 500 people.
Dying to own the lips.
wait, is this about free for all or something?
No, I wasn't pointing specifically, but it's
Now we are.
I don't know how that was handled, but if it was handled that way, then I'm not surprised.
Я должен немного перед...
There just is, even though, like here in Sweden, we have a fair amount of people who have apparently had it with COVID, even though we barely did fucking anything. So people, people when they have to do the when they have to, even though they would probably stay home most of the time anyway, they
Hmm.
don't like being forced to stay home, I guess.
I'm really losing my patience with people. Sometimes I want to be a dictator.
Mm. I was like, when I worked at the Elgiganten, I was like one of the few people who had a mask.
Hmm.
And it was like,
Готовы выполнять
I think I only saw one other person in the entire place that had a mask, and I'm like, Meanwhile, you go to like Manila or Cebu, and everyone in the street is wearing a mask. Or you go to Hong Kong, everyone is wearing a mask. Singapore, everyone is wearing a mask. And then you have people who have barely worn a mask for like 5 seconds, and they say, "I can't breathe."
Hmm. Yeah, that's one red flag on my stalker, because he was like that.
You're a stalker.
Yes, that's
Was he? Was he
one
in
of the
Chernobyl?
shitty people that live in this town is a stalker.
Sorry, I made a joke. Was he from Chernobyl?
I mean, I wish he'd get radiation poisoning.
No.
I'm not taking it back. But yeah, yeah, he was one of those. Oh, I can't breathe.
Who would? Why was he? No, whatever. I've always had like I've always never really believed like how I guess when I go out for walks and I just see random people and like somebody could be stalking that random person just this minute and it's like, but how would one know? How does one know?
I mean, it's up to you to determine if someone is stalking you.
SpongeBob is stalking me. Sorry. Um. Supai Geborb. Hmm.
If I had a reference picture for my Mantrin character, then I'd so get a picture for Valentine's Day.
Lantern.
You don't know what a Mantrin is?
No. And also, by the way, earlier you did this, you did scatting or whatever, and suddenly I get Scatman on my timeline.
Oh, scat waving.
Scat wave. Scat wave. I thought you said wabe.
Dee-da-da-da-da-da.
Scat waves when you slow it down and it gets all vapor wavy.
Vapor wave.
You know what vapor wave is?
I know what it is. I'm tired.
But yeah, I wanted to
I-
explain to you what a Mantrin is.
Yeah, I kind of act drunk when I get tired. It's
Ah.
weird.
Well, I don't know if you have seen Titan AE.
Hold on.
I have not.
Well, Mantrin is a Stitch species. And Stitch is basically like imagine a kangaroo with 4 knees and a beak.
Also some big ass legs. What in the world?
Yeah,
It looks like something I would create in Spore.
yeah, I've seen Mantrins in Spore. Spore is pretty good at animating that kind of leg. So if you make a Mantrin in Spore, it looks good.
Yes, in Spore, created in 2008 in the civilization stage, there is the Mantrin Sogo one.
Yeah, they're also
That-
called
Yeah,
Sogo one.
but the Mantrin Sogo one had these weird legs, and one could meet it.
Yeah, you can meet it.
Meet it.
Meat.
Me,
Bleat.
you could delete it.
The need for bleed.
Yeah. I feel the need for bleed.
Speed of a lamb's bleat has been linked to survival rates, according to Australian Geographic.
Interesting.
New alternate history scenario. Tatars against Inuits.
How about this? Taiwan belongs to Serbia.
Sounds like some Hearts of Iron shit.
Totally.
Hearts of Iron after a border gore peace conference. Hell, give Tibet to like give Tibet to like Cuba
Italy.
or no Cuba or something. Like release Greenland as an independent faction, only to give war on it, and then have half of it belong to like Turkey and the other half belong to like Argentina.
Yeah, now you're talking based. Till I demand the return of Alaska to Sweden as its proper Swedish clay.
I mean, I wonder if one could do that, because I know that the Rus of the Russians is actually named after a Rus that came from Sweden.
Yeah,
That's why it's called Russia. It's the people of the Rus, but the people of the Rus were originally Swedish.
that's why the Finnish name for Sweden is Ruotsi.
Yeah, because it's the land of the Ruots. Ruotsi, but Ru. Oh, but it's also kind of like Romania is called Romania because it was Romans who traveled eastward and decided to settle in Slavic lands, and then assimilated, one would say, but not really. They still spoke Romance language, and it's essentially just a Romance language with a lot of Slavic borrowing of Slavic words. Do you know how to speak?
English as she spoke.
Do you know how to speak English? No, but do you know how to speak Dalamol?
No,
Elfdal.
I don't know anything about that.
It will be the new lingua franca of Sweden in... should be, at least.
According to you, yeah.
But you know what Elfdalian is? You know what Elfdalian is?
I don't. I don't know much about Elfdalian or Dalmål.
Until 2006, I think, I believe they still used runes as their alphabet. It's like Swedish government only recognizes it as a accent of Swedish, even though their what was it, their alphabet was runes. Not many people speak it, and it's more related to Icelandic than to Swedish. And I think it actually, wait,
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's nearing midnight, so I should sleep as well.
Okay.
Alright.
Gute Nacht.
Good night.
Goat night.
Good night.
You know what? Prussia actually has a better relation with me right now than the Ottomans. So if anything, I should backstab the Ottomans. Which would also help reducing my lag concerns. Also, they have very poor units. Nothing against Kurds, but they have a morale of 5 in this game. And also like no melee stuff.
Gesundheit. Gesund your height.
For context, I just sneezed.
Я отдыхаю.
This guy's 70 years old. I hope he dies soon. Okay, that's a little bit anachronistic, having a gendarmerie in Hanover. A gendarmerie is the precursor to like continental European police. In Britain, the precursor to the police was a gang, basically, along the Thames. And in continental Europe, the precursor to police was French occupation forces during the Napoleonic Age. Right now, I actually cannot think of a single place on Earth where the police does not have a criminal or a repressive background. In the US, the police traces back to like slave patrols. So like patrols of white people who would go around searching for escapees.
Also Swedish. Let me see.
Я должен немного передохнуть.
Don't. The first modern police force in Sweden was established in the 1800s. Before that, police work was not carried out by a law enforcement agency in the modern sense. In rural areas, the king's bailiffs, known as fogde, were responsible for law and order until establishment of counties in the 1630s. In the cities, local governments were responsible for law and order by way of a royal decree issued by Magnus III. The cities financed and organized and hired various watchmen who patrolled the streets. The watchmen and the city guard were organized, uniformed, and armed like a military unit, and were responsible for interventions against various crimes. And so it was essentially military in Sweden. Which I guess tracks a little. How did it start in Switzerland?
I actually don't remember. Besides, I don't remember if there's a history before, like the French gendarme, because in Switzerland, like Switzerland was also invaded by France. That's the entire reason why the Grey Leagues are part of Switzerland, for instance.
Bands of thieves, vagrants, and beggars have played a key role in the emergence of a policing system in Switzerland since the 15th century. Able-bodied men were called on to work as landjäger or gendarme to expel the riffraff from the system. Wow. Wonder what affiliation that person who wrote that article has. Riffraff. My ass.
Joke's on you. I don't know what that means.
You don't know what You don't know. Hold on.
I do know what it means, but like if you were to translate it word by word, literally, I don't know what it would correspond to right now. Like word for word, the literal translation rather than the meaning of it.
Das Gesindel.
Yeah, but that's a translation, that's not what riff-raff means word for word. Like that's the translation into German.
I mean, riff in English is riff in German. A short repeated phrase in popular music or jazz.
Бою готов.
Я не могу больше еще вас помочь.
Готовы выполнять указания.
Вперед! Сэр!
Я лишь слуга Господа нашего. Сию минуту. Мне надо помолиться.
Ожидаю указаний! За корону и отечество! За корону и отечество!
Interesting, Prussia also joined them.
Готовить войска к бою! Час расплаты настал! Поднять флаг! За корону и отечество! Налево! Что-нибудь еще? Приготовиться к бою! За корону и отечество!
Hans Joachim von Zieten.
Hans.
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 Лорд! Я не могу это сделать! К бою готов! Да, сэр! началась. Они же прячутся у жен под юбками.
I think I might actually end this on a cliffhanger. So, we have conquered all of Sweden, basically Scandinavia. We have our first colony in the Americas. We are currently sieging Breslau, Danzig, Berlin, Hanover.
Hangover.
Hangover. Hangover, Berliner, which is like a Berliner is a
Donut.
yeah, it's kind of like a donut, yeah.
Do not the donut.
I don't know if there's any puns we can do with Breslau and Danzig.
Dance. Tig dansen.
Ziegen.
Tig dansen. Danzigen.
Däneziegen.
Dänezigen.
Danska Ziegen.
Kupe Dänemark.
No, Denmark we already conquered.
I mean, like the ice cream.
Yeah, but Denmark is Denmark. We already ate it.
Uh,
Vor.